How's it going, guys? My name's Johnny Lowe. This is my very first ever podcast and video stream right here. So, bear with me because I'm sure it's going to be a rough one. I'm going to try and get it on iTunes, and I'm going to try and get it onto the iTunes podcast, and I'm going to try and get it onto YouTube and, get it out there. Like, why not? Let's just try it, see what happens. If nobody watches, nobody watches. If somebody watches, hey, this is for you. And it's not gonna be there's not really a set theme. It's just gonna be, I turn on the mic, talk about what's on my mind, what I've been thinking, seeing, reading in the news, stuff like that. Just talking, and hopefully I'll get some of my buddies to come on here. Hopefully I'll get some family members or something to come on here, something that everyone can enjoy. Just come, BS, have a good time, and it'll be about everything, sports, documentaries, career stuff I'm doing at home, just anything going on. I'm gonna try and talk about that. So this is episode number 1, and I think the first thing I want to talk about is Russell Westbrook. I feel like today is it's a strange day for the NBA right now. I think it's a strange offseason, very strange offseason for all of the NBA right now. There's a lot going on, and it's really cool. It's really interesting. This offseason, right after the finals, just everything started blowing up. People going all over the place. The first one was Anthony Davis. That was nuts. I was so surprised to see Anthony Davis go over there. And then you got Kevin Durant leaving, you got Kyrie Irving leaving, you got Michael Brogdon leaving, you got JJ Redick leaving, and just everything. People are going all over. Klay Thompson was up in the air, Kevin Durant, everyone. But the most recent one was Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook leaving Oklahoma City. That was just the strangest thing for me. I understand. I completely understand what the franchise is trying to do. I understand them trying to get rid of Russell Westbrook and rebuild their organization and maybe have a decent organization. I get that. But didn't they just give this guy over $100 million 2-3 years ago? Didn't they just give him a whole bunch of money? That's strange to me, But they're rebuilding. I get it. They got a good coach there. The GM, not so sure about him. I think the organization has a lot that they need fixed. I think there's a lot going on there that needs to be worked on. And I think the very first thing that they should have addressed was the fact that they didn't give James Harden the contract he had earned when he was there. He was young. He was young, and justifying that much money when they have Kevin Durant there, when they have Steven Adams there, when they have Russell Westbrook there. I understand why they didn't want to do it, why they didn't want to go into a luxury tax. I think some $4 million or something like that. I get that, but you got to understand, this is a young player, and he's doing great for your organization. You need to give that man some money if you have the opportunity to give that man some money. Because look what he's done. Look what he's done over in Houston. He's been a great player. He's constantly in the top of the scoring list. He's constantly in the MVP race. He's constantly an assist leader. He's phenomenal. He's a great player. They should have given him money. Oklahoma City messed up. They should have given him money. They would have been a franchise. They would have been a franchise team. The three of them together, add Steven Adams, get rid of Serge Ibaka. They shouldn't have kept Serge Ibaka for the expense of James Harden. That was a stupid move, but it is what it is. It's going to be different. The NBA is going to be different now. I think James Harden and Russell Westbrook back together is going to be extremely difficult for Houston. I think they're both extreme ball hogs. He might be the top of the assist category. They both might be in the top of the assist category. Westbrook's averaging a triple-double. James Harden's doing his thing. Points, assists, he's just doing it all. But I think they both demand to have the ball most of the time, and that's going to be a challenge. Houston's going to have an up and down year. I think maybe towards the end of the season they might have something. They might put something together, but right now, they're going to struggle. At the beginning of the season, they're going to struggle, and it's going to be very evident that they're looking for somebody to be the leader of that team, or each of them is trying to be the leader of that team. That's what I meant to say there. And Chris Paul, Chris Paul, I don't think he's going to be a Thunder player, guys. I think he's gone. I think before he even puts on a uniform, before a preseason game even starts, I think Chris Paul's gone. Where he's gone, I'm not sure, but I don't think he's going to stay there very long. I think Chris Paul is out, and I think Oklahoma City has a lot that they need to fix because as of right now, Steven Adams is the face of that franchise, and in the league we're in now, no, you cannot have a center as the face of a franchise. It just can't be done. Can't be done right now. The league is too fast-paced, too three-point oriented. It's just there's too much going on. There's too many fast breaks, and Steven Adams is not the guy that can get. He's not the big man that can get up and down the court fast as Steph Curry or Klay Thompson or D'Angelo Russell or Lonzo Ball or any of those guards that are just fast, Darren Fox. No, they're not keeping up with those guys. He can't. He can guard them on the half court, and that's a small amount. If he can straight up guard them, but if they try and do moves around him, he's not as fast. Steven Adams, they need somebody there that can help them, a guard that can help them, that can shoot, pass, facilitate, a good guard there. That's what I think about the league. I also think that this incoming class, these rookies, wow, they're going to be fantastic. I was talking to a buddy of mine. He didn't think that this rookie class was going to be all that great. I think there's all-stars. I think there's at least 3 all-stars from Duke alone that went in the first round that are going to be great. That's what I think. I don't know. We've yet to see. Zion Williamson's already he's not hurt. I think he tweaked his knee, but they're keeping him out for the rest of the preseason, which is understandable. Why get your guy that's clearly going to be a franchise player? Why get him hurt? There's no point of that. But RJ Barrett's already been good. There's been some good action from these incoming guys already. I think the last year's class, Luka and Trae Young, those guys, they're all going to be great. The NBA is at the best point right now. And it's awesome. There's not a major super team. There's stacked teams, and they're all seem to be in the West right now. But there's some stacked teams. They're amazing, and it's going to be interesting to see what they have to do. It's going to be very, very interesting, and I'm excited for it. I'm excited for the NBA next year. I'm also excited for football, but I'm a huge Baker Mayfield fan, so I'm excited to see what Cleveland does. I'm excited if OBJ is going to help them, propel them, get them into the playoffs, see what they can do, see if they can win the AFC. I think they're in the AFC North. I'm excited to see what Cleveland can do. I'm also excited to see Patrick Mahomes. He's a baller. He's a great player. I'm excited for that. Another thing I want to talk about is documentaries and stuff like that I've watched lately. Jonas Brothers just came out with their new documentary called Chasing Happiness or something like that. Yeah, it's on Amazon. If you have Amazon Prime, go on there and watch it. I highly recommend it. It's if you weren't a huge Jonas Brothers fan back when they were really going hard at it and just were taking over the music and just all over the radio, all sorts of stuff, I think this is a good backstory for why people like them. I always heard Jonas Brothers were like these 3 brothers that just played together in like random shops, hair salons, stuff like that, barbershops. And it turns out, no, they worked. That the 3 of them worked. They worked hard, They did it. They went through their stuff, and then one day they're just boom. They're just huge, and then they're done. It was crazy. That the Chasing Happiness documentary about the Jonas Brothers is great, and it's made me a fan. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna sit here and listen to all their music all the time or anything like that, but I'm gonna go at it with some thought. I'm gonna think, wow, they're pretty good. The 3 of them, their story is very interesting. Another documentary I've seen lately, most recently, like within the past couple of days, is Bohemian Rhapsody, the documentary about Freddie Mercury. That one's interesting. I've always liked Queen. I've always thought they were great. And my dad has always talked about how Freddie Mercury was just this big thing, and I'm not old enough to have ever seen him. Or if I did, I don't remember him at all. I think he died whenever I was very, very young or right before I was born. So I don't remember Freddie Mercury. But this story about him, this documentary about him, very interesting stuff. I mean, it's great. It's just, wow. Freddie Mercury, he was eccentric. He was different. And at the time, the only person that was as different or as him was Elton John. And Elton John, wow. I mean, the two of them at the same time, that's just, it's hard. It's hard to see stuff like that, you know. It's hard to see stuff like that, which is really cool. I think that's really, really cool. I also recently saw the Elton John movie, Rocket Man. That was a great movie. It's another, gives you a lot of backstory about Elton John, how he lived his life, his family, things like that. You know, he lived the beginning of his life was very hard. I'm not gonna say he lived a hard life. He got his music career going at a young age, which was good for him. He didn't have a great family situation at the time. He had a lot he had to do, but getting linked up with his writer, it was just Bernie. It was just great. The two of them somehow getting together. Faxing song lyrics to one, and then the other one making the music. It was just wow. It's nuts. The life Elton John lived, though, it was so hard. He lived. I mean, he was wild. He was crazy. He lived a tough beginning of his life, But it was great. It was a great documentary, and Taron Egerton played a great Elton John in the movie. I think he did the role very well, and I know for sure that I want to try and get tickets to this final tour. I know it's going for another year or two, but I really want to get Elton John tickets on this final tour because I want to see the actual person. Now, I've never seen him live. I've seen the movie, and now I want to see Elton John live. I think that'd be very, very interesting. I've talked about stuff that I like, enjoy. I guess I should give a little bit about me. I think I'm working on my master's degree right now. I'm working on my master's in English, and right now I'm working on my thesis. So I have 2 classes left. I'm taking 1 regular class and 1 thesis class, and I'm almost done. I'm nearing the end of my time in school, and I can't wait to be done. I'm excited to be done. Not that I hate school. It's just, I'm 26 years old, and all I've known for the past 20 years is school, going to school, doing something for school. And my master's degree for the past 2 years has been online, so it's been different than normal, but it's still constantly. I'm constantly checking the Canvas app on my phone, on my computer, doing something, trying to figure out what I got to do, what I've got to work on. And right now I'm working on my thesis, and it's 70 to 100 pages. And my emphasis is in poetry, so it's 70 to 100 pages of poetry, which it's not terrible, but it's time consuming. And with things I do in my life, working full time, or playing video games, talking with friends, hanging out with people, stuff like that. It's time consuming, and I feel like I haven't. The past 2 years, I've struggled to make the appropriate amount of time for that. What I mean is, school has been a back burner type deal for me, and this is graduate school. This is a huge thing for me. I'm gonna have my master's degree. I'll be able to teach English and stuff like that. I'll have an MFA, and that's a huge thing. That's a accomplishment, and I want to finish because I want that accomplishment. I want to be good. I want to get a good career. Start my life, do something good. And I've spent a lot of times. I spent a lot of times playing video games or hanging out with friends, and not that it's a bad thing, but I've spent when you spend days, not entire days, but when you spend hours, a half a day just playing Xbox, you really think about it. I'm 26, and any random Sunday afternoon, I would have ended up sitting downstairs, sitting in my room, sitting in my recliner, just playing NBA 2K, and and one day I was listening to Joe Rogan and Bill Burr one day, and they both talked about how they had the same type deal, and they both thought they they didn't like where they were at in their careers and their lives at the time. And here I am doing the exact same thing, and listening to those two guys, it sparked something in me. I'm trying to do more stuff, have more life events, do things like that. I can't. It's hard to have life events when in a 24-hour period I spend 12 hours playing video games and 6 hours sleeping. There's nothing there. There's nothing to that for me. And then you work a full-time job on top of that. And then you try and write your for me it's poems. And I try and write my poems and my essays on top of that. And then I try and do homework on top of that. It just doesn't work. And then if I had a break on my Xboxes, I'd be on my phone playing another game. Technology was consuming me, and I don't want to do that anymore. My friends, they're not happy about that. They understand. I mean, they're not. It's not like something we're gonna end our friendship over or anything like that. But we've been playing this game together for 4 years on our phones. It's called Marvel Contest of Champions. If you don't have it, I highly recommend it. If you have time to play it, it's a great, fantastic game. And there's a lot of people out there on YouTube that are good at it, that have tutorial videos that promote it, stuff like that. Brian Grant, Seaton, Man of Legends. Look them up on YouTube. They're funny. They have great conversations with people, and it's nice. It's very instructional, and it makes the game more fun. It makes you want to play the game more, and I like playing the game. But I spent just so much time on it that I need to take a step back. I need to take a step back from video games and electronics in general. Aside from doing a podcast here and there, I need to give myself a chance to actually experience life and go out in a world that's not just consumed by technology, not have my head buried in my phone constantly all the time. I need that. I think a lot of people need that. I think a lot of people should experience nature and life and get those experiences. I don't think we should be stuck on our phones constantly all the time. And if you have the opportunity to be on your phone all the time, more power to you. If you can do that, if you have the opportunity to be on your phone, good for you. That's great for you. It's not something that I want to do, though. It's not. I feel like I'm too young to be doing that. I feel like I'm too young to be in a spot where I can just come home, get on my Xbox, and play on my phone and do all this until midnight, and then go to sleep and wake up at 7 a.m. and go work my full-time job and be on my phone all day long at my full-time job, doing something, and then go home and get on my Xbox and do that, just repetitive, and just keep doing that and keep doing that. Spend money on video games, spend money on my phone games. I don't want to do that anymore. My friends, I'm sorry if that upsets you. I need a break from technology right now. I need a break from not technology, but from gaming right now. I just need to enjoy myself and see what I can do, But I do have every intention of going back to that. I have every intention of getting on my phone more, when I have the opportunity, when I have the time, going to my Xbox when I have the time to do stuff like that. It's not something that I want to get rid of forever. It's a huge part of a lot of people's lives. Technology is a huge part of people's lives now, and I don't want to be, I don't want it all to get past me. I want to experience nature. I want to enjoy my life, enjoy these life events, get all this stuff under my belt, enjoy stuff. I'm young, I'm single. It's what I want to do. I need to enjoy these experiences, and then I'm going to come back to that, Again, when I think I need to relax and chill out, I'll come back to playing the Xbox for an hour or so a day. Come back to playing on my phone, 5-10 minutes here and there a day, just doing stuff like that. But right now, it's just not something that I want to do. And that's it's a hot topic for people now. I've also been trying to find a career that suits me, something that I want to do. what I like comedy. I constantly have some sort of comedy going on. I don't know how everyone feels about the show Seinfeld, or how everyone feels about the show Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, but that's stuff that I enjoy. I like listening to that. I like going to see comedians, not comedy. I like going to see comedians. I like trying to write my own jokes. I plan on eventually getting on stage at my first open mic night. I'm excited to try that. I want to be involved with comedy. It's what I enjoy. But I also like educating myself. And I think now that I'm getting older and getting towards the end of my school education, I think I'm starting to enjoy looking things up, looking at things, just discovering new things that are going on in the world right now. While I say I want to be away from technology, I think it just blows my mind how far technology has come. Today I watched the movie about Steve Jobs today, and that guy, he wasn't an engineer. He didn't build the stuff. He had the ideas, but he didn't build the stuff. He had Steve Wozniak, his partner, did a lot of it, and they disagreed on some things, which is okay. I think it's good. I think people need to have disagreements. I think they need to argue and stuff like that sometimes. But he was out. I mean, he was just out there. I mean, he was brilliant. Steve Jobs was a brilliant guy, but he wasn't the technical engineer, the creator, anything like that. He was just the face of the organization, the face of Apple. He did it. He failed. He had some amazing failures in the Macintosh. The first Mac, it failed, and that's okay. But and then he was fired. He was let go, voted out of Apple, and he went and started his own thing. And he had the Cube for Next, and that eventually got bought out by Apple because of the operating system. And he was back, CEO, back to Apple right then. And then he came out with the iMac, and then, well, we all know the rest from there. I mean, right here we got the iPhone 10 right there. I mean, he had the ideas. He might not have had the idea for the iPhone 10, but he had the ideas. He could think of it. He just needed the people to help him get those in place. He needed the technicians to be able to get it together, and I think Steve Wozniak was great for that. Him and Steve Wozniak getting together was another fantastic duo. But I like those shows. I like watching those documentaries and things like that. And I think Steve Jobs is a credit to the technological history of the world, really. But back to what I was saying is technology, what it's done in the last 30, 40 years is it's phenomenal. I mean, it's amazing what's gone on with technology lately. It's just amazing. I think 100 years ago, we barely I don't think we even had color TV. We didn't have color TV 100 years ago, and now if I pulled my phone up right here, I could pull up Netflix and stream it wirelessly to a TV right over there. That's what we have now. And then 100 years ago, we don't have color TV? No, that's just technology has come so far, and technology has helped us to come so far. And it's really, really cool. Today or yesterday, I think it was, they discovered a skull, a Greek skull, 210,000 years old. Without technology, we can't discover that. We can't uncover anything about that. We can just see it and think, wow, that's a really old skull. But with technology, we can date it back. We can look at the fossilization and all the stuff, the dirt, everything that's on it, and we can discover how old it actually is. And that's just amazing to me. I think technology has come a long, long way, and it's very beneficial to our country. It also scares the hell out of me a little bit. Technology is a scary thing. It's a beast. How long until Ultron becomes real? I'm not saying he will. I'm not saying Ultron will actually be a real thing, but how long until something like that comes up? There's a lot going on that we should be aware of. Like for instance, right now, my phone's probably listening to me. It's probably in my computer here too. It's all probably listening to me. It's all getting the idea of what's going on, what I'm talking about, and then when I pull something up later, it's gonna implement ads that are similar to what I've been talking about. We're gonna have ads all over like that, and it's weird. It's weird that technology can listen to you like that. It's weird. And if you don't think it's weird, you need to really, really look into that and think there's always someone listening to you. I mean, my watch, my iPad, my phone, my laptop, it's all listening to you. And that's just scares me a little bit. I love technology. I'm not going to stop using it for fear or anything like that. But I have some reserves. And recently I got rid of Facebook and Instagram because of stuff like that. Ads kept popping up, and I was like, no, I'm done with this. I'm sick of them listening to me. And I still have Twitter. I don't check it, but I'm sure if I checked it right now, there'd be ads on there too, which is fine. If you want to show me an ad about me knowing that there's ads out there, and you're putting ads out there, then go for it. I don't really care. Do your thing. I'm a big fan of technology, though. I love it. I love seeing how the world's changing because of it. And that's the type of thing I like. Recently, as I've been trying to be more out there and get my experiences and things like that, I've tried to be healthier. I've tried to eat healthier. I've tried to work out more. Tried to be better in shape. And it's kind of selfish reasons. Obviously, most things I do are selfish. Most things everyone does are selfish. I don't think there's any one person out there that does everything selflessly and is completely unselfish. But I've been working out more. I've been trying to get better in shape, trying to be healthier, and I think it's been beneficial towards me. I think I've lost probably 15 pounds now, which is nice. I don't have a double chin anymore, and that's nice. And I don't have a beer gut anymore. But it's not like weird healthy. I didn't like completely cut my diet off and stop everything like that or anything like that. It's I've started intermittent fasting, and I am no expert on intermittent fasting for sure. There's a lot that I don't know about it, and I ask my brother who's big into health and stuff like that. I ask him a lot of questions, about how I'm doing things and seeing if they're correct. And lately I've been trying to fast for 16 hours and then eat for 8. And it's more like eat twice, maybe. Eat one good solid meal. Try and keep it low on carbohydrates. Try and keep my sugar low. I don't want to take in a lot of sugar. I'm trying to be healthy, clear my mind, help myself out. I want to have a good, healthy life, and I want to be able to think accurately and clearly and do things the right way. So I've been trying to be healthy, and I've been working out, and it's workouts are small. Run for half hour, or walk my dog a couple times a day, or do a small workout. Go lift weights, do something. Lately, I've been into yoga. I got a membership. We got a new yoga place here in town. I've been doing that lately, and I try and go there at least once a day. And I don't know, something else I'm gonna have to look up. How often you should do yoga if you will hurt yourself from doing it more than a couple times a week or something like that. But I've been doing it every day, and I've really enjoyed it. I plan on going there again later on today. I think yoga is great, and I think being healthy, being a healthy person in general is great. I think we need that right now, especially in this country. I think America's the fattest country. It's not a good thing to be. It's not a race to see how fat we can be. I think we really, really need to look into that, because being the fattest country in the world it's not a good thing. And a lot of people will say, "Yeah, we're the fattest country in the world. Yeah, we're number one." No, it's not. It's not like that. It's like our our lifespan drops so much if we're just fat and don't care. And it's so easy. It's so easy to fix things like that, guys. You know, a lot of people, there are genetic things that cause weight gain, things like that, and that's fine. But you can still work with that. You can still work around that, and you don't have to be a super weightlifter or anything like that. I am far from being somebody that's super into lifting weights or anything. But there's some things that just need to be reined in. We need to control it. Eating is something that really needs to be controlled in our country. For some reason, we have the idea that we need to eat more than a few times a day. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's a staple in every household. But you moderate yourself. Limit yourself. If you're at the buffet, getting pizza at like a Mazio's or something like that, limit yourself. Don't go back for that 4th, 5th, 6th plate, Eat 1 or 2 plates, then maybe even have a salad. And, the calories we take in need to be burned. If we're not burning the same amount of calories, then yeah, you're going to get fat, and then we're going to be the fattest country. I don't think that's something we should strive for. I think being the fattest country is something that we need to work on, because our lifespan, our generations to come, they're going to look at that and think, oh yeah, our parents did it, our grandparents did it, we can do it too. We can just be fat and that'll be fine because look how they did things. It's not right. I don't think we should do that. I think we should limit the amount we take in. It's as simple as that. Limit the amount you take in and burn the amount of calories you take in. If you burn the equivalent amount of calories, if you're an average person weighing 150 pounds and you burn 4,000 calories a day and you take in 4,000 calories a day, then you're good. It's as simple as that. And if you're eating a bunch of bread, carbohydrates, stuff like that, those retain water. If you put on water rate, there could be other factors, but if you put on water rate and you eat 9 sandwiches a day, 9 pieces of bread a day, all sorts of pizza dough and stuff like that every single day, then yeah, you're going to put on weight because it retains water. That's just how it is. Try and limit your net carbs. If you don't want to get into keto or anything like that, just try and keep it low. Don't go for 400 or 500 carbs a day, Ketosis. I've been really trying to get into ketosis lately, and that's like, I spoke to my brother about this, and it's like, try and keep it. He told me to try and keep it under 30 net carbs a day, which to me is very, very difficult. There's a lot, when I was working full time at the bank, it was come home, have a sandwich, come home from work, have a sandwich, it was lunch and dinner, have a sandwich, in the morning, have toast. There's a lot of bread I was taking in, and that's why I had the gut I had. That and candy. I ate so much candy, it was not even funny. But I've cut that out. Speaking of work, it's been lately. I've left 2 jobs lately, and right now I'm an adjunct English instructor at a local college, which is nice. It's a nice supplemental income for me, but right now it's an only income for me. So I left these 2 jobs because I wasn't a cubicle person. My most recent one was a cubicle. You sit in it 9 to 5 all day long. You stare at 3 walls all day long. You have a little opening behind you where you can go to the bathroom or leave to go take a break or something like that. It's not for me. I don't want to be that person. It's not something that I enjoy. I enjoy doing stuff for people, helping people, doing something. Sitting in a car doing nothing, it's not what I want to do. But sitting in a cubicle doing nothing, not a car. And the job I left before that was at another bank, and I was a full-time loan processor there, which was enjoyable. I worked there for 4 years. I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of friends there. But it got to where it was the same thing every single day. Same things pissed me off every single day, and they didn't change, and I needed a break from that. I needed to get out of that. So I left there too. Which I think leaving both of those jobs has been very eye-opening for me as to what I want to do with my life. I've had the experiences of taking those jobs that I don't like. So I'm glad to be out of them both. I'm glad for the experiences from both of them. I'm glad for everything that happened to both of them, but I'm also ready to do something I want to do, you know? I say I like comedy. I'd really like to try and get into being an amateur comedian, you know? That would be fun for me. But we'll just, it's something I'm working on it now. We'll just see. I'd also like to be a writer. That's something for my thesis. All I've done is write, and I'd really like to get published or work for a publishing company, you know, be an editor or anything like that. Something that I enjoy, not something that I have to do to pay the bills. Which I don't have a lot of debt. I'm just trying to find that thing for me. So I guess we'll see. We're gonna see on that. I think, for first podcast, I think that's it for me. I don't have a lot going on right now. So if you like it, and it shows up on YouTube, shows up on your feed or something, give it a like. Say something you want to talk about. If you want to talk about sports, if you want to talk about it, something on Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, I have all of them. Send something to me. Message me on YouTube. Find me on Twitter or something like that. It, it like I want this to be an enjoyable thing. Just BS, and I'm hoping to get people on here to BS with me. I think that'll be fun. I think it'll be a Joe Rogan type thing. I'm not aspiring to be the next Joe Rogan or anything like that, because I think his podcast is amazing, and I'll probably go watch some of that later today. But I'm wanting to have fun with this. If one person watches and you want to hear something else, let me know, and we'll talk about it. Like, you just I'm ready to have conversations with people. I want to see what's out there. I want to see if the like-minded people out there. So if you enjoy it, give it a like or a thumbs up or subscribe, on YouTube. And if you like it on podcasts, give it a like and subscribe on there also. But I'm going to try and do one every day. So until tomorrow, or maybe even tonight, if I'm feeling like it, I'll be seeing you guys. So have a good rest of your day and enjoy your Friday. Have a good weekend.